Here's a rule of the mind, and it's a very important rule to put into practice. My mind likes what is familiar, and it doesn't like what's unfamiliar. One of the best things you can do that will change your life is to make praising yourself familiar and to make criticism unfamiliar. The fastest way to change anything is to change the pictures and words. And it's such an easy thing to do. I'm terrified, I'm elated. I'm useless, I'm amazing. I have no memory, my memory is compelling. I can't speak to people. What I have to say is easy. I find it easy to speak to anyone. This is the most vexing rule of the mind for every therapist and coach in the room. It's the one my clients have the hardest time with. Your mind loves what is familiar. If your mind could choose, it would stay with what's familiar and never go to what's unfamiliar. We're in a walled city. And that's interesting because years ago at night they shut the door and we stayed in the wall. We didn't think, do you know, I feel like going for a midnight stroll. I think I'll wander. I'm a bit bored of being in this same old. I want some variety. I think I'll open the gate, wander off and find another tribe. They might have killed you or eaten you. We learned familiar made us safe. Who here notices with their kids when they're little they want the same cup, the same bowl, the same cereal? I took my daughter to Finland to see Santa Claus. She watched Little Mermaid in Finnish the whole time. And that was okay in Finnish because she knew, she'd watched it 110 times. Where I'm like, babe, here's Father Christmas, here's only Mummy. I want to watch The Little Mermaid. It's like, well, next time we'll just stay home and watch a movie then. She did actually get into it, but it made her feel good. She used to play this game. She had so many Barbies, and Ken would come up in his car, and he always picked the same one. He never picked another one to go to the ball because they like familiar. It makes them safe. You know, how many kids you have, they want the same story every night. But familiar also makes us safe. So here's a rule of the mind, and it's a very important rule to put into practice. My mind likes what is familiar, and it doesn't like what's unfamiliar. Okay. But I can make anything negative unfamiliar and anything positive familiar. Let's start with praise. It's the most simple, but the most powerful. I meet clients who are never praised. I met one girl whose dad said, "You're so rubbish, just like your mother. God knows what you've got going. If any man asks you out, snap them up because you are nothing. You're not interesting, you're not attractive, and you get pregnant, you'll blow up just like her and be a big fat mess. So if anyone wants to be with you, I can't imagine why. Take them." And she heard that a lot. So she had this interesting belief, I've got nothing to offer the world. And I did a lot of work with her, and she went, it was just amazing. It was like magic. This guy came up, and he asked me out, and he was so nice. I mean, he actually made another date, and he picked me up in his car and took me out for dinner, told me I was amazing. I'm never seeing him again. I'm like, really? She went, no, he was too good for me. I'm like, oh, let's change that wording to his behavior was so unfamiliar. I don't recognize praise or niceness or somebody believing I'm worth something, and I want to run back to the familiar guys I have to beg to take me out, or seeing my friends, I pay the bill, and they remind me of my dad. And I'm like, well, guess what? You're not supposed to have sex with your dad. So there's a clue. If someone is like your dad, I don't think you should be getting into bed with them. And I think you need to make that unfamiliar. People like it when you make them laugh. So she went, right. So I said, you need to go out with this guy, and this is what you do. You keep saying, I will make this familiar. He rings me when he says he will. I make it familiar. He texts me. I'll make it familiar. I will make it familiar. And she ended up marrying him. She's very happy. She said, how weird. The other guy called me and said, what happened to me? She went, what, the guy who never called me? You never called me, so I just let you go. So you have to say, let's do it with all of you. How many of you find praise a little unfamiliar? How many of you find praising yourself even more unfamiliar? Okay, so if you're never praised and you're criticized a lot, and criticism is familiar, when someone goes, wow, I love that t-shirt, you go, I got it free, it's got a hole in it, I've had it 8 years. I loved your speech. Didn't you notice I missed out the best bit? No, I thought it was amazing. I hear you're the best salesperson in your team. Yeah, but not in my county. There's another guy way better than me. So if praise isn't familiar, you will reject praise, but you'll add in what's familiar, criticism. So one of the best things you can do that will change your life is to make praising yourself familiar and to make criticism unfamiliar. Don't do that day in life. Oh God, look at my hair. Oh, there's a stain on this jacket. I'm an idiot. Oh, I didn't buy any nice food. Now I'm going to have to eat donuts. I'm such a moron. I didn't charge my phone. I'm a retard. I haven't got enough time to get there. I'm a loser. You know, if someone said over your work, going, well, it's not very good. Look at that. You haven't even spelt it correctly. Then all the way home, they went, you haven't left enough time. You're an idiot. You haven't got any nice food. Moron. How quickly would you kick them out of your life? Pretty fast. But when it's you, you can't kick yourself out of it. And when a friend is mean, you go, they're having a bad day. But when you're mean, your mind goes, well, it must be true. Everything you tell me is true. So you need to make praise familiar. It's really easy. I'm amazing, I'm kind, I'm nice, I'm real, I'm authentic, I'm a good person, I have something to offer the world, I have a unique skill. That's easy. And don't go, I'm an idiot, I'm a moron. I was telling my little girl off one day, she got very good, she said, Mummy, you are a silly Billy. And I thought, well, that's a great word. So next time I'm about to say you idiot, I go, you silly Billy. Because it's just a word. If I said to my husband, oh, you silly boy, he doesn't go, how could you offend me like that? Because it's a word. It's how I say it. You're so naughty. He doesn't go, I know, I need some therapy, I'm so bad. I go, oh, you're so bad. So you can make words. So I want you to think of the worst word you have for yourself. It's always the same, stupid bitch, airhead, idiot, loser. And I want you to change it to silly Billy. Because when you say silly Billy, because you can't help it. I was changing a light once and my hand was wet and I nearly electrocuted it. And I was about to go, you stupid effing. And I went, you silly Billy, don't do that again. Because why beat yourself up? There's enough people in the world who'd like to beat you up. Why do you want to be one of them? Be nice. Show the world that you're worth it. So up praise massively and minimize criticism. If you wanted to change your life today, this will change your life. Praise yourself a lot and don't criticize yourself. And if you do go, yeah, but I did something really bad, go, well, I learned. I learned from that mistake. I'll never do it again. If it taught you something, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You're allowed to make a mistake. You are not allowed to beat yourself up, berate yourself, and call yourself names and punish your body for doing what everyone does. They make mistakes. So to make a mistake is human. And to forgive yourself feels really divine. And to call yourself a silly Billy feels even more divine. So that's something I recommend you all do. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. How many of you sat having an injection going, oh my God, that needle's going in and it really hurts? You notice that babies don't do that because they don't know. So whenever I have to have blood taken, I get my phone out. It's the easy, and I get completely, and I go ahead, and I don't really notice it. But if I look at it, it's not the same. If you focus on pain, it hurts. If you focus on stress, you're more stressed. In fact, I had a client come up to work on stage with me, and she was like this. She was shaking so much. And all my class would go, my husband was like, wow, I've seen you get people out of that, but I've never seen them start with it. And she was just shaking so much. I'm like, okay, I want you to shake more. I want you to really shake. Come on, Gwen, you can do better than that. Shake, keep shaking, shaking, shaking. I said, you know, have you ever seen a deer pursued by a lion? When it gets away, it doesn't go, I need therapy now. This is so traumatic. It shakes. It stands and shakes, and it goes back to the herd, and life goes on. And when I made her shake, what was happening is she began to think, oh, I'm in control of the shaking. I'm doing it, then I can stop it. And so when clients go, my knees are knocking, go, knock them together louder. I want to hear it. My hands are clammy. Can you make them even more clammy? Can you turn up that sweating so you're dripping? Yeah, go on then. And then I say, you see that you're doing it. What you focus on, you get more of. When they focus on, oh, I did that, and I can turn it down, it feels better. So don't be scared of clients that shake or sweat or start to laugh. So when they laugh, I go, I want you to laugh even more. I want you to almost wet yourself with laughing. Actually, I don't say that too often because that does put a good picture in the mind. When people, I say, laugh more, cry more. I laugh with them. Sometimes I cry with them. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. If you ski and you focus, you'll go. If you're on the freeway and you focus on an exit hard enough, you'll take it without even planning to. So whatever you focus on, you get more of. Focus on great things, and you'll get more of them. The strongest force in every human being in the world is that we must act in a way that utterly matches and is completely consistent with our thinking. I know I'm going to fail. I know I'm going to mess it up. I know it's going to hurt. I know it will go wrong. Now you have zero choice but to act in a way that's consistent with your thinking. I know it's going to be great. I know I'm going to sail through it. I can ace this. This is easy. Change the words. It changes your whole language, but everything starts with a thought. Everything begins with a thought. And here's the great news. Your thoughts are yours to change. And you can change your thoughts. It's actually incredibly easy when you learn that everything starts with a thought. A thought is a word. And if you use words elated, empowered, ecstatic, blissed out, amazing, phenomenal, incredible, I'm stellar, I'm just amazing. And you can repeat the same words over and over again. I feel ecstatic. I'm elated. When I work with people who say, I can't stand up to my boss, I can't tell my mum that she's actually the biggest bitch in the whole world who ruined my life. I go, well, how about thinking if you say that, it makes you feel elated. It makes you empowered. It sets it free. Because outrage is just rage that needs to come out. I said to her, listen, your anger is like gas. Better out than in. She's not in the room. Let's do it now. I want you to say to your mum, Mum, I want to love you more, and I can't because I resent deeply. And suddenly they go, you absolute bitch, you biggest bitch in the world. How could you do that? And I feel so good now because it's that, and I can go home and I can love my mum better because I've let the resentment out. So I never tell people to keep it in. I think feelings do their most damage when they're kept in, when they're repressed and pushed down. And most of my clients who binge and drink too much are pushing down feelings. The stomach is the seat of all emotions. You can't heal what you can't feel, but you should let feelings out. And if you keep it in, you always suffer, you always feel repressed. Many clients I see who say they are depressed are not depressed. They are repressed and they are suppressed because they can't say, I resent you for always saying, my brother was smarter. I resent you for marrying 6 different guys who were hideous to me and never putting me first. And then they make their peace and then they move on. You have to be aware of it. You have to accept it, and you have to articulate it. I call it AAA. Be aware of your feelings. My ex-husband drives me crazy, and I'm so angry with him, and I can't tell him because he's the father of my kid. I get that. Shut the bathroom, turn on the taps, and say, you are the biggest arse in the world. Thank God I've got a great arse because I realize I don't need another one in my life, and make it funny. God gave me a great arse. I don't need to marry one. I'm done with you. But say it, and then you feel better, and make it amusing so they don't think, oh, I feel terrible. She said I can say, I've got a great ass. I don't need to date one. And now I feel good. I remember that. They remember stuff that's funny and significant. So remember, your thoughts form the blueprint. What you present to your mind, it will present back to you.